Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Christine. I am practicing today with a group from Breastfriends in Tigard, Oregon. Their website is linked in the description box below if you or anyone else might benefit from their services. Also, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to this channel because you will get all the new releases automatically every Wednesday as we post these videos to that channel. So we're going to start in a chair today, but I will give some options for both standing and seated. If you're going to exclusively practice in a chair, you might benefit from having a second chair out in front of you, or maybe a kitchen counter or a dining room table, something that you can reach out and ground your hands down on. So with that being said, have yourself in a nice sturdy seat, something without any wheels. It's not going to go sliding out from underneath you. Something where you can have your feet firmly on the ground. If they don't quite reach, an ottoman, a box, or maybe a yoga block, if you have it, might be nice to lift that ground a little bit closer so that you feel a little more grounded and a little more centered and a little more able to find some stability in our practice today. So, first thing we're going to do is come into presence. What does that mean to be present? It just means to kind of let go of all of these thoughts that are running around in our heads and really focus on what is happening here in this present moment. So we can practice presence here in our yoga practice, and that way we can more easily attain presence when we're with our significant others, when we're with our furry family members, when we're with our children or our grandchildren, or doing anything that requires our focus. So just find something here that you can focus on. So that might be your feet on the floor, might be your hands resting on your lap. It might be your breath. So whatever is most clear to you, use that as your anchor to keep coming back to throughout our practice. Whenever you notice your thoughts are starting to run away with you. And don't judge yourself if they do, because they will, and they will for all of us. So just finding whatever anchors you to your body right here in this present moment. And if it helps to close your eyes or soften your gaze, please go ahead and do that. And as you're here, begin to start to soften anywhere that you can, perhaps across your forehead, maybe releasing your jaw. That's always a big one for me. Softening your shoulders and just letting your elbows and your forearms be heavy. And just notice places in your body where you're holding tension or where you're bracing. And see if you can bring a little more softness as we settle into our practice here today. Let's go ahead and cultivate a nice balanced breath. When we breathe deeply and in a balanced manner, it is a signal to our nervous system that it's safe to move, it's safe to stretch. So the next time you inhale, count to yourself how many beats that inhale takes. And then as you exhale, see if you can match that length. So if you're inhaling for a count of 4, then try to see if you can keep that exhale also to a count of 4. So it might look like inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to let go of the counting because your count might be 3 or 6 or anything that benefits you. We just want to look for that balance. So let's just take 60 seconds here to practice a balanced breath. Might soften as you balance the breath here. Continue to feel your feet on the ground and your hands resting at your sides or in your lap. And just notice where your body expands as you inhale and where it softens as you exhale. And every time you inhale, you might lengthen your spine, draw the crown of your head up towards the sky. And each time you exhale, you might soften those shoulders a little bit more. And then from this calm, balanced, grounded place, let's begin to move. So we'll just get a little gentle movement here in the shoulders. Let's roll those shoulders up towards the ears and then forward and down. Up towards the ears, shrug them forward and down. And as you bring those shoulders up towards the ears, you kind of want to draw the shoulder blades towards one another. And as you shrug them forward and down, open up the shoulder blades. And then we'll reverse. So let's bring the shoulders up and back and down. And again, as we go up, we'll open up the shoulder blades. And as we come down, we'll gentle squeeze towards one another. You might hear some sounds coming from your body. And then the next time those shoulder blades come down, just let them drop down, lift your heart a little bit, draw the base of your skull up and back, and really press into your feet and your sit bones if you're seated. And maybe come back to your balanced breath. And then let's get a little bit of movement for the neck here today. So we'll inhale, maybe using your balanced breath here at the center. And then as you exhale, take the whole length of the exhale to look out over your right shoulder. And then inhale, whatever your count is, back to center. And exhale to look out over the left shoulder. And if the balanced breath doesn't really work for you, just continue to move side to side at whatever pace does work for you. Just finding what works for you. This is all about learning new ways to move your body, new ways to take care of yourself, new ways to nurture yourself. And you can continue moving here side to side, just the neck, or you can reach the fingertips down towards the ground or maybe out to shoulder height. And the next time you turn to look right, flip your left palm up to the sky. And then back down as you come to center. And then look left and flip your right palm up to the sky. And then down as you come back to center. And just notice how that changes things for you. Notice what that does in your neck. Let's do one more time to each side. And we'll inhale back to center, relax your arms, and let's just rotate the wrists a few times in one direction and then the other. And then we'll rest the palms to the lap, palms up. And we're just gonna bend that right elbow towards the right shoulder, bring those fingertips to touch maybe, or maybe they're a little farther away. And then we'll bend the left elbow to touch the left shoulder. And again, if your arms are really tight, if you've recently had surgery, maybe this movement isn't quite to touch the shoulder, and that's okay. We're just saying hello to the muscles, the skin, the fascia. And these bilateral movements are really great for our mental stability and our neuroplasticity. You might keep your palms right here, resting to your lap, or if you have a little more space, you could take the arms out a little wider. Perhaps you take them out to the sides and tap here. Or maybe up to the sky and tap here, or down low. So just finding that level that works best for you. Let's just do that twice more on each side. So just kind of play with it. What feels best to you? And the last time left is the last time. Again, we'll just rotate those hands, those wrists a couple times in each direction. And then let's just flutter the fingers, almost like you're playing the piano. You might twist a little to the left, twist a little to the right, just a little flutter, flutter, flutter. And then maybe flutter down. Bring those hands up to shoulder height and flutter the hands all the way down. Or maybe bring them up tall and flutter those fingers all the way down towards the ground. And one more time. Just playing with your edge here. So notice that first place, and then we'll just shake those arms out a little bit. Maybe even make some sound here. And then relax. And just notice what you notice. How does that affect your body? How do you feel in your breath? How does your mind feel? And just feel your feet once again on the ground, whatever the anchor is for you, perhaps coming back to your focus on the breath. And then we'll get a little bit more movement. So if you're seated in a chair, have a table or a counter or another chair across from you. If you'd like to come up to stand, come to stand behind your chair. So you've got the tall edge of the chair here to start. We're just going to bring both hands to the back of the chair. We're going to stretch out the front of the hips here. So many of us sit a lot during the day, myself included. So we just want to stretch out the front of the body, kind of unfold from all the sitting we do. So you might just tuck your your left foot back, come to the top of the foot, and just gently press your hips forward towards the chair, holding on for balance here. Or you might release your hands if you want to challenge your balance. You could even bring them up to the sky and take a little bit of an optional back bend here. So again, this is your practice. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's whatever feels good for you. If you want a little bit more sensation, a little more opening in the front of that left hip, you can bend your left knee and reach back for your left foot. Maybe again, keep your right hand on the chair or perhaps reach up towards the sky. Really press into that right foot. And remember, you always have that chair there for balance if you need it. Breathe here. Let's go for 2 or 3 rounds of breath. And if you found that balanced breath to be helpful, come back to that. So either with the left foot in the hand or down here low. Find those 3 breaths. Now, if you're sitting in a chair, you're just sitting on the edge of the chair here, maybe with the top of the foot down, maybe holding on to the foot. So that's an option if you want to stay seated. And then we'll come back to standing, both feet under the hips, hands under the chair, and we'll just do the second side. So we'll start slow here. We want to just kind of let the body decide, where is that edge? Maybe the edge is right here with the hands down, the top of the foot on the mat, and just gently pressing those hips forward. Perhaps you would like to release your hands and practice with your balance a little bit here. And if you're practicing balance, find a focal point out in front of you that you can help to keep you steady here, something that's not moving, maybe up to the sky. Or you might explore holding on to that right foot, bending the right knee and drawing that foot towards your glute, pressing the foot into the hand or drawing it towards the glute, just playing a little bit with where it feels best to you. And once you find that place, let's find 3 more breaths right there, whether it's the balanced breath or your own natural breath. One more inhale wherever you are, and then exhale, gentle release. Maybe release your hands, feel your feet on the ground. Feel where you feel your breath. And then if you're standing, bring your hands once again to the back of the chair. If you're seated, reach out towards the table or the second chair, whatever you have handy. And we're just gonna walk the feet back and have a nice stretch here. So just come back as far as feels good to you. Maybe it's right here. Maybe it's all the way to a flat back. Wherever it is, open up across your armpits, have a gentle bend in your knees. The knees can be bent deeply if that feels good to you, or rather straight. Just make sure not to lock those knees. And maybe wag your tailbone a little from side to side if you are in the standing position. And just imagine your spine getting a little bit longer. Tuck your chin so your neck is a nice extension of your spine. And then find 3 breaths here, either your balanced breath or your natural breath, whatever feels most supportive for you. You might bend and straighten the legs a bit. And then as you're ready, bend your knees and walk back in towards your chair. And whether you're standing or sitting, we'll all release our hands down to our sides and find Tadasana, mountain pose. So really pressing into your feet, pressing into your sit bones if you're seated, turning your palms forward so that your heart lifts and your shoulders come down the back. And find where you feel your breath. Maybe it's up here in the chest, maybe it's down here in the belly. Notice if you've clenched your jaw or if you've furrowed your brow, and see if those places can be softer. And then let's get a little bit of movement here in the hips. So if you're standing, we're just gonna pick up that left leg, bringing most of the weight here into the right foot. And we're just gonna start with some circles here in the ankle in one direction. If you're sitting, just pick up that left foot and circle in one direction. I'm gonna continue here standing, but you might keep your left foot low here, or you might pick it up a little higher. You might release the chair to challenge your balance. And then we'll make some circles here in the hip. So just rotating that knee forward and then back. Beautiful. And then we'll just set that left foot down. Same thing on the right side. Just a gentle pickup of that right foot. We'll start with some nice little circles here in the ankle. Maybe you invite that thigh up a little bit higher. Maybe you release the chair. And then as you're ready, we'll take that knee back and around 2 or 3 or 4 times in each direction, whatever feels good to you. And then we'll come back to feet on the floor. Find your Tadasana. And then we'll stretch a little bit into the back of the legs. So if you're sitting here, we're just going to extend that left leg out long, come to the heel of the left foot, and hinge forward at the hips any amount until you feel that stretch in the back of the left thigh. If you're wanting to practice standing, keep that left foot forward, step the right foot back just enough so that you can still get your heel on the ground, so not very far. If the heel starts to peel up, just walk in a little bit farther, and then we'll just hinge forward at the hips here. And again, be mindful not to lock that front knee. You could rest your hands or your forearms on the top of the chair. If you have more space and you want to come a little deeper, you can use the seat of the chair rather than the back of the chair. And let's find 3 breaths here. Always remembering to soften where you can. You might notice some tension in that inner left thigh, maybe the inner right thigh. Perhaps you can release there a bit more. One more full breath here. And then if you're standing, hands to the chair, we'll just come back to that right foot parallel to the left. If you're seated, we'll extend that right leg out long. If you're standing, step back with the left foot, let that heel touch down to the ground, and then fold forward at the hips any amount. And it might not be very much if you've got real tight hamstrings. You might notice a little bit of tightness and tension there in that hip. Maybe you can soften more. Maybe you have more space and you can fold forward a little bit more. Let's find 3 breaths here. Again, your balanced breath or your natural breath, whatever makes the most sense for you today. One final breath here. And then let's bring those feet parallel once again. Stand or sit up nice and tall. Feel your feet on the ground. And then we'll all come back to the chair. Feet on the ground, hands resting in your lap. We're going to take those knees out nice and wide here. So everybody's chair is a little bit different. You might need to scoot forward a bit and take your knees out wide here. Or it might be nice to straddle the corner of the seat if your chair doesn't allow. We're just going to open up those knees as much as feels good to you and bring your hands to your heart. Let's inhale at the center and we'll exhale, little twist to the right. Inhale to come back to center and exhale, little twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist right. Let's go ahead and stay here. Breathe a little more length into your spine. Bring a little more softness as you exhale. One more full breath here. And then we'll inhale back to center and exhale, twist left. You can keep your hands up here at your heart, or you can touch down to the chair or your leg, whatever makes the most sense. Couple breaths here. Just thinking about or maybe visualizing your spine, finding that twist. Last breath here. And then we'll inhale back to center. Find that tall spine. And then we're gonna rest the right forearm to the top of the right thigh and bring the left hand to the left hip. Now you could keep your gaze forward, draw that left shoulder down and back, or you might rotate your heart a little bit and look up towards the sky. Now here you could keep that left hand grounded where it is, or maybe reach it up towards the sky or the ceiling. And really press into that left foot. Feel both sit bones rooted to your chair. And again, another option here, you might bring your left arm alongside your left ear, rotate your pinky down to the ground so that that shoulder blade is coming down the back body, and find your breath here. One more full breath. And then inhale to come all the way back up to center, and exhale to release the hands. Take a few breaths here to just notice the differences in the two sides of your body and your neck, your shoulders, your hips. And then we'll do the opposite side. So we're going to take that left forearm just to rest on the top of the left thigh. Right hand can be right here at that right hip. Stay looking forward, or maybe draw that right shoulder down and back and look up towards the sky. And options are to keep your hands down low, to bring your fingertips, bring your fingertips right up to the sky, or maybe alongside that right ear. Just turn the pinky down towards the ground. Notice what that does to your right shoulder blade, and breathe here. Feel where you expand as you inhale. Notice what you can soften as you exhale. One more full breath here. And then we'll use that next inhale to come all the way back up to a tall spine. Exhale, release the right hand. And then really intentionally bring your toes in, and then your heels, and then your toes, and then your heels, until your feet are parallel and right underneath your knees. Feel your tall spine, lengthen the back of the neck, relax the shoulders. And then we'll move through a few cat and cows here. So I'm going to turn to the side for any new people who haven't been with us so they can see. So inhale into your cow pose would be a little lift of your heart. Look up towards the sky as much as feels good to you. And as you exhale, you round the spine into cat pose. So it's inhale, cow pose. So we're kind of arching the back like a cow. And exhale, cow pose. So you've got that kind of rounded spine like a scared cat. And again, you can keep this neutral, uplifted, very long, or you can really get deep into this. So you might really inhale and draw those shoulders down and back. And as you exhale, draw that belly button back towards the spine and bring your chin down towards your heart. And just continue to move with your breath at the speed that works the best for you. One more opportunity here to practice that balanced breath, and let the inhale take the whole length of your movement into cow pose, and the exhale take the whole length of the movement into your cat pose. Keep your hands grounded, or use your intuition. What does your body want to do? What does your body want to move? Maybe hands are right here. Maybe you begin to lift them and reach them forward. You can bring them down nice and low or up high. Again, just really paying attention to what your body needs right now. Let's just move through this 3 more full breaths. Relaxing all the muscles of the face. And the next time you inhale, let's just plant those hands, roll back up to a nice tall spine. Relax the muscles of your face, the skin around your eyes, across your forehead, and release that jaw. 1 more minute here, finding your balanced breath, whatever natural rhythm supports you. Feeling your feet on the ground. Feel yourself right here in this present moment. As you inhale, you might just bring a little gratitude to that nourishing breath. As you exhale, let go of anything that doesn't serve you today. And then if you like, you can join me bringing your hands together at your heart. May you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your hearts. In the tradition of yoga, namaste.